Council for Science and Education meeting. Vladimir Putin chaired a meeting of the Council for Science and Education, in Dubna. President of Russia Vladimir Putin, colleagues, good afternoon. We are meeting in Dubna, one of the Russian science cities. You know that its entire history is an excellent example of the concentrated efforts of the state, scientists, engineering and educational schools, economic sectors and, without exaggeration, the entire society in areas that are crucial for the security and sovereignty of the country. In this sense, it is emblematic that it is here in Dubna that we will talk about scientific and technological priorities of the current complicated and challenging period of Russia's development. According to my instructions, the government and the Russian Academy of Sciences have compiled a list of knowledge-intensive technologies that are essential for Russia. In fact, these are direct and specific tasks for the Russian science, education system, and tech businesses. Almost everything depends on solving these tasks, the implementation of our current plans and aspirations, and, of course, the historical prospects of the Russian state without exaggeration. I am saying this without unnecessary enthusiasm or exaggeration. But before we get down to our work, I would like to congratulate the Council members, the domestic and foreign scientific community and, of course, the staff of the Joint Institute for Nuclear Research on a truly significant event. Work to launch the NICA technological project has just started. Before the Council meeting, I discussed NICA's enormous capabilities with scientists from Dubna and other centers. The head of the project and the center described in detail how fundamental and applied research will develop to have the most positive impact on the development of science in our country. This is our great competitive advantage. We need to use it to create sovereign and original end-to-end designs that are sought after in all areas of life, as well as other critical products and services to overall strengthen our leadership position in a number of areas. Let me remind you that these are the provisions envisaged in the updated strategy for scientific and technological development. When developing this document, we were guided by the following approach: international cooperation opens up numerous opportunities for Russia, and we will promote it despite the restrictions that they are trying to impose on us from abroad. We will nevertheless develop our contacts, but we must rely primarily on ourselves and on our science, and not just rely, but also to develop it, above all. This is why it is so important that our scientists are moving forward, reaching new heights. As you know, yesterday we presented the National Awards in Science and Technology to Russian scientists. They came first in the world in a number of areas. I would like to once again thank you and all your colleagues for outstanding achievements. It is crucial that all our fundamental scientific groundwork should gain traction and create new industries and markets in Russia. National technological sovereignty projects are being prepared for launch in order to do this. Today, I would like to highlight their scientific component, which, let me stress this, must serve as a foundation for achieving breakthrough results in the interests of Russian families, our economy and social sphere, as well as to strengthen Russia's defense capabilities and security. This is what I would like to highlight. First, now clear requirements for the final results of technological national projects must be determined when developing them, these being specific products and services created with the use of the essential knowledge-intensive technologies. It is critical to set objective, yet strict deadlines for the implementation of these decisions, starting from laying scientific groundwork to testing the technology and using it in mass manufacturing. Second, 3 years ago, we began to build an entire system for planning and managing scientific and technological development. The Council for Science and Education was vested with the authority to develop all strategic decisions in science and technology, and the Government Commission for Scientific and Technological Development was granted operational management rights in science and technology policy. Now, we have to ensure effective management of the national technological sovereignty project's scientific blocks. They must be aligned as smoothly as possible, which requires detailed cooperation between agencies, research institutes, universities, enterprises, and high-tech companies. Our entire scientific, technological, educational, and production potential must be pooled together. Multitasking and diluting resources are unacceptable. In this regard, the situation when dozens of organizations are engaged in one scientific topic, with varying degrees of success, while other areas that are no less important for Russia remain uncovered, raises concern. Therefore, I would like to ask you to once again look carefully into the overall planning and implementation of research and development projects. I would like to hear your specific proposals on this matter. There is nothing unusual about it. We have seen all of that back in the Soviet times. It may not be a bad thing when several centers focus on the same project. It creates competition that gives rise to interesting products. But you should not spread yourself thin. That is the point. It is a fine line, where you need to stick to the golden middle. Next, personnel training is critical not only for the technological projects, but for all national projects as well. Consolidating efforts at all levels of education matters. We have been discussing the fact that we need more than individual high-performance physics and mathematics schools. What really matters is to achieve a high level of training in mathematics, physics, and other natural science disciplines everywhere, in major cities and small towns alike. The head of this center was appalled to share with me today that a survey among school children revealed that the majority of high school students want to be what? Director of the Joint Institute for Nuclear Research Grigory Trubnikov, bloggers. Vladimir Putin, bloggers. Mr. Sadovnishi, they want to be bloggers. Not scholars. You know, this is the spirit of the time. Some time ago, things were even worse, and we know what children wanted to be. However, the interest in science and higher education is on the rise, and we are aware of it. There are statistical data to corroborate it. These trends should be supported. To reiterate, we need to improve this situation dramatically, and do so soon, meaning that all the necessary systemic solutions must be incorporated into the pending Youth and Children National Project now. I want the government and the Presidium of the Council on Science and Education to keep a close eye on this work. The issue is about improving the quality of teacher training and building mechanisms to attract talented university graduates to work at schools, and to expand the opportunities for retraining teachers, including at the leading universities, research organizations, and technology-driven businesses. Funding the research comes forth. The mechanisms for allocating funds to pay for advanced research should be more convenient and flexible. What we need here is clarity, transparency, and objectivity rather than bureaucratic formalism. Importantly, the researchers should have clear perspectives and be in a position to make long-term plans. In this regard, financial planning of the budgetary spending on scientific research should cover the horizon of at least 6 years, and even longer, if necessary. The planning horizon for scientific research people here know this better than I should be extended. The further out it goes, the more effective the end result will be. To reiterate, in the address, and then in the May executive order, we laid it out clearly that, by 2030, we would increase domestic spending on research and design to at least 2% of GDP. I am fully aware that this is not enough, but you must strive to get there. Once you do, you must go further, no questions asked, including with the use of a twofold increase in investment in research and technology by private businesses. Please submit specific proposals concerning the mechanisms for enlisting the participation of the companies in the expedited creation of advanced domestic solutions at every phase of the process. It is crucial to use the experience gained by the Russian Science Foundation, and federal scientific and technical programs in agriculture, genetics, and so on. Fifth, the Russian Academy of Sciences, RAS, should play a crucial role at all phases of forming and implementing national technological sovereignty projects. Among other things, such national projects should be thoroughly examined by the RAS. The president of the Russian Academy of Sciences raised this question during our recent meeting when we discussed these matters. I fully support it. I would also like to remind you that we have expanded the role of the RAS in providing scientific and methodological guidance when it comes to the activities pursued by academic research institutes regardless of their departmental affiliation. I would like President of the RAS Gennady Krasnikov to update us on how the Academy is going about this work. We discussed this earlier, and I am sure the President is ready for it. Friends, We recently talked with our colleagues in the government and the governors about the importance for all of us to work in a special combat mode. I hope that you will be working like this in your respective spheres as well. This applies particularly to research. For the first time in contemporary history, we are integrating the work of scientists as closely as possible as part of our technological national projects, in order to achieve the national development goals. As I said, this is a completely logical decision. Of course, I am aware of issues that have to do with fundamental research, as we said just now. It is a separate matter. Nevertheless, this kind of research also generates a host of issues that are relevant to the real world in one way or another. In the context of sanctions and growing technological competition, every research institute, every research team, every member of the Academy of Sciences, professor and researcher, as well as postgraduate students must contribute to the common cause. Simply put, it is imperative that you not only do what you enjoy and are capable of, or what is prestigious and profitable, but also what the country needs. On the other hand, in addition to addressing current and future-oriented tasks, the Russian scientific community must prepare the groundwork for creating goods and services of the next technological generation, as I have said just now, and explore new uncharted horizons. This means that fundamental research must be carried out in Russia equally broadly, not just in the interests of the country, but for the international scientific community, backed by Russia's entire scientific infrastructure industry, and in close international cooperation with those who are ready for this and willing to work with us. There are not just many of them, they constitute the majority in the world. In this connection, I would like to tell you about a decision we have recently made. The Megagrant program will be considerably expanded, its funding increased, new research fields included, and more efficient grant distribution tools through the Russian Science Foundation suggested. These measures will allow us to support new large-scale research projects and to attract leading professionals to Russia from various countries, just as we have been doing recently. Relevant instructions will be issued to the government. In fact, we are discussing this issue with our colleagues, and we are in agreement. Naturally, we will closely monitor the implementation of this program. Mr. Chernyshenko, you have the floor. Go ahead, please.